And welcome to another edition of Mailbag. And like in the previous set of mailbags, I'm recording a single header for many answers that you guys have left on the channel, and there is a lot to go through this evening. So before we get going, remember these are mailbag questions and comments that you guys leave on the channel that are well worth actually sharing with the wider community. But before we start, we always go through parish notices, which are, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, why not? Hit the subscribe icon. If you want to be notified about when videos hit the channel about things like this thing that's just off shop, which is the IDA 2400, that's the bell icon. If you like the contents of the video you're just about to watch, you know what, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the video on the YouTube algorithm. Also, leave comments down below. I do read them, I respond to them, and that's the reason why we're having this mailbag conversation now. And finally, for less than the price of a cup of coffee, consider supporting the channel by becoming a member of the TMTG community. The address is down below, as are the Instagram and Facebook tags where the normal channel notices are posted. But now back to this particular mailbag. Okay, this next one is from Shawn Curran. It's not in response to a specific video, but it is in response to a debate that Shawn and I have been having for a couple of months relating to which keybed do we think is the better. Now, I put a statement out there that based on my keyboards, I thought the D-20 was a better keybed than the EPS-16 Plus. And the reason for that, I think, is because my EPS-16 Plus has had a pretty hard life. And I think that hard life has taken it out on the keybed. But Shawn respectfully disagreed with me, and I don't mind people disagreeing with me, because actually keybeds and the feel of a keyboard is quite individual. So certain people will like certain keybeds and certain people will think the same keybed is absolutely atrocious. But that's kind of why, you know, it's personal preference, why people like keybeds. And why people also buy keyboards and then buy MIDI controllers to actually play them, because they don't like the keybed and the MIDI controller has a better key feel, etc. Anyway, I'm going to read you this out because this was this sort of sums up where Shawn and I had got to in terms of our conversation. Hey John, it's been a little over 1 week with both the Roland D-20 and a W30, along with the Ensoniq EPS-16 Plus. And I wasn't sure where to share this. So he's written this to me. This has actually come across as a Patreon message, actually. But I did actually sort of say to him that, did he mind if I did this to camera? And he said he was fine with this being shared to camera. So I carry on. I wasn't sure where to share this, so I chose here. I've spent days playing on both keyboards, and I now believe I can articulate my bromance with the Ensoniq keybeds for the last 31 years. The areas I feel are completely different between these synths is key throw. Is that a thing? Weight, texture and shape. Obviously 31 years ago, I remember the Ensoniq was on top in each of those categories. I'm not a pianist, so excuse my ignorance, but these should do to express my thought. The Ensoniq keybed has noticeably longer throw and just feels better on my Ensoniq than a short movement on the Rolands. Providing more room for errors, keys must be depressed further to make noticeable sound. Bumping a key on a Roland produces unique chords, but my Ensoniq plays what was written and intended. Okay, the Ensoniq keybed has absolutely zero weight resistance. While this might be negative to a real keyboardist, however, to my untrained fingers, I feel it more controls the dynamics and afterchecks. The lack of weight allows me to easily play the whole range of a note consistently. The texture of the Roland keyboard is glossily smooth, where the Ensoniq is textured. maybe due to the poor craftsmanship, but I feel more control. The Roland Simps, I feel like my fingers skim the surface of the keys instead of pressing them firmly. The Ensoniq keyboard, black keys just feel better to me. The slight bevel on the tip as you move further away, something about the shape instills confidence in my playing. At the end of the day, 95% of my noodling on these keyboards is to build beats and other associated noise. The few movements I actually pretend I'm a keyboardist and relive my youth playing piano synth in bands, the Ensoniq suits my style. Shrug, term should be used loosely. Hopefully enjoy my ramblings and puts a smile on your face, Shawn. You know, I would agree. I mean, I find, and again, I think this is because my Ensoniq has had such a bad life. I find that the Roland keyboard, or the Roland D-20 keyboard of the D-20 that I own, and I have sat them both together actually, so this is me sort of talking a comparison. I find that the Roland keyboard is more expressive, and I find I have to press harder on the Ensoniq keyboard. Now, what Shawn is describing is a very light touch Ensoniq keyboard, and I think that is possibly the difference because my Ensoniq keyboard has had such a hard life. Now, when I take my Ensoniq to pieces, maybe there is a degree of refurbishment I can do to the keyboard that will improve its playing. I'm not sure is the honest answer because I haven't really taken it to pieces at that point. My key goal with the Ensoniq EPS-16 is to actually make it work properly. And to that aim, I have actually purchased over the last couple of months a series of bits where I think that things are broken to bring it back to life. And that will be the subject of a series of videos, probably starting when the weather starts to get warmer, which is probably towards the end of March. Then I'll be able to get out of the workshop and spend some hours out in the workshop actually repairing these things. But what the keyboard that Shawn is describing is not the keyboard I feel on my Ensoniq. So that probably explains why Shawn took a different view of these two keyboards. But anyway, I really do appreciate when people challenge and discuss and come up with a well structured conversation around why they think something is not as I feel it is. And I've said many times on this channel, if you disagree with me, fine. I don't have a problem with you disagreeing with me. In fact, I quite like you to disagree with me, especially if you think I've got something wrong, because I don't know everything. Thank you very much, Shawn. That was a nice piece to put in the mailbag section.